Preparedness camp. Need some more light up in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is about 12:40 a.m. in the morning here in Merida. I've been up all night waiting for the worst to come, and it has not. So we are grateful, blessed. This uneventful day is a good thing because the alternative, oh my God, could be so much worse. So I'm going to count this as a win-win, and pray for everybody that's down in Florida because this storm is not looking good at all. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, give folks a time to get in here and kind of give y'all some updates on what's happening here. Like I say, it's about 12:40 a.m. It's now Tuesday morning. Hit the like button so we can get this video out. More people can be aware. But so far, so good. The storm has actually downgraded from a category 5. We are now at a category 4. So, still dangerous. The storm is starting to move a little ways out. We were without power for about an hour. So much of today has been a really, really good day. Gust of winds every now and again, but nothing serious. And like I said, our power went out about an hour ago, and it wasn't even raining, and it really wasn't that windy. And so we are, I guess I'm talking too loud. So we doing well. We are, under the circumstances, today I went to the store to go buy some groceries because, we did a live yesterday and I was completely oblivious to the fact that there was a hurricane brewing. And, but today I woke up in all of the Facebook groups, all of the Facebook feeds, I'm seeing this warning about the hurricane and businesses are shutting down. And so I got up, ran to the store, lines coming out the store into the streets. Many of the stores, they had to shut down because of the panic buying. And most of the businesses by 2:00 today, everything was shut down. And so that made me even more nervous because the previous hurricane from a few months ago, it wasn't even like that. They didn't shut down early in the day. In fact, business went on as usual. There were just a lot more people out buying generators and buying other stuff, but it wasn't like it was today. Today was different. And like I say, by 2:00, most of the businesses were shutting down. And I went into the store. I couldn't find it. So I went into the grocery store and I was like, I'm not standing in that line, and turned around and left because that line, it looked like we were going to be standing in the line for 2 hours. And so I was like, we got enough food. We'll survive on what we got. And I left. But Kim decided to go back out a few hours later. She stood in the line. And, on my way home, I stopped by to get a pizza. Walked in the store. They had took the last order. They shut it down. I was going to get a few pizzas just to have. Went into 7-Eleven because they were the only thing that was open. Walked inside. I was able to grab a few things. I was the last customer, and they shut the door. And like I say, 2:00, 3:00, the streets in Merida, they were empty. Everybody was gone. And so that made me believe that, this is going to be horrible. I started regretting the fact that I didn't go buy a generator like I should have. I'm going to get that resolved this time. So the next storm that comes through here, I'm going to be ready. But thankfully, the worst from what I'm reading online, has passed over. The hurricane had downgraded from a Category 5 to a 4, and is moving towards Florida. Some areas, particularly those near the beach, near the coastline, like Progreso, Tail Chalk, what else? Chuberna, they're feeling some storms. In fact, I'm going to read some stuff that is popping up on some of the groups inside the feeds. People kind of updating on real-time stuff. But like I said, we were out without power for about an hour. We came back on a few minutes ago, and all is well. I mean, the wind is not really blowing hard. I brought stuff inside. And so I'm going to pull up some stuff. Let me see. Like I said, I like this various groups to kind of see what's going on. Are y'all able to see that on the screen? Let me know. And if y'all, for you folks in Florida, man, we're praying for y'all. Whatever warnings that they have, take seriously, because that last Hurricane Helen, it done some damage. And it's better to be over-prepared than not. You know what I mean? Somebody, you just can't take a chance with this stuff, man. Yeah, the storm looked like it was going to hit Merida. That storm, when you looked at the graphics and the hurricane tracker, that storm was just sitting outside the coast and just moving really slow. And because our waters are very warm right now, the pressure in that hurricane was getting lower, the strength was getting stronger, and it was just brewing. And so, unfortunately, it started to make a slight turn. And but yeah, I saw them pictures today. I was like, this about to get bad. So I'm gonna read up on some of the stuff here. So people are just kind of checking in. Somebody here put 2 blocks east of Paseo near Hotel Conquistador. As of 11 o'clock, just light rain and breezy. Nothing dramatic at this point. Internet and electric, okay. Street lights on, no flooding. So far, praying we get spared. So this is me posting earlier saying power was out for about an hour, but it's back on. Somebody else, same in Conkal, same, so people are just kind of updating. Let's see here. So yeah, here is, that's how bad that thing was looking. And Merida was like right here in this little area, looking pretty bad, man. On that map, it was like, or was it down here? Kind of hard to see that map. It was looking pretty bad. Yeah, we were right up in this area. And so it was looking bad when we were looking at that map. So let's see here. There was a strong west wind when I stepped out of the house in Merida. This was as of about 2 hours ago. That would indicate the storm is north of us. Most of the latest National Hurricane Center report was to warn West Florida about what is coming. Here at the part of their summary that pertains to Yucatan. Category 5 hurricane near the northern Yucatan Peninsula. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. I'm going to just pull down to the comments. When I'm looking at stuff like this, I like looking at the comments. This person here is saying it's now 11:30 p.m. There are 3 of us who live aboard our 2 sailboats here in Yucatan, Payton. We remained aboard our vessels. Wow, that's pretty brave. They stayed on the boat. In our marina, the water is very high right now, possibly 2 to 4 inches over the docks. That is about 22 inches higher than usual and dangerously slippery. There is not power at all in the marina, as the auxiliary lighting also went out shortly after we lost electric power. However, both Canadian sailboats are equipped for offshore sailings, so we do have our own power systems for lighting and such. The wind is starting to die down. Now, this was about an hour ago. The wind is starting to die down, and they're on the water right outside of Merida, and the noise is far less deafening. We are getting some gusts of rain from the outer rings as they circle, but we are not totally out of the woods yet. There is no movement in the marina as it is far too flooded to determine damages yet, but all three of us are on our boats and our boats are fine. We have all weathered hurricanes before, but no one really wants to. And this one, although particularly nasty at times, causing us some unneeded stressors, seemed to be on its way back out to sea with little damage to our vessels. Perhaps the morning light will uncover some issues, but I am pleased to say that we are certainly feeling some relief that this nasty piece of work has already thrown down its worst for our location. Tomorrow is another day. We shall determine the outcomes then. In the meantime, we hope for the best for everyone. So again, that's good news. More confirmation that this thing is starting to move out. I want to pull this up here. Let me see something. Let me switch. All right. Making sure y'all can see this here. Hit the like button if y'all don't mind so we can get the word out about what's happening. So this is from the Yucatan Civil Protection government agency here. And let's read what they're saying. Are y'all able to see that? Let me see here. I'm going to translate that. At 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday, October 8th, that was about 50 minutes ago, Hurricane Milton was downgraded to Category 4. It is located 83 kilometers north of Telchac, which is a beach town that's about 45 minutes away from here, where we are in Conkal, and 105 kilometers northeast of Progreso. Its movement is towards the east at 15 kilometers per hour with winds of 250 kilometers per hour and higher gusts. It is expected that during the midday, it will be located about 89 kilometers north of Rio Lagartos. We invite you to stay informed through our official accounts for any emergencies. So again, I tend to look at these different pages, groups, just to kind of stay abreast of what's happening. So like I said, about an hour ago, they downgraded that thing from a 5 to a 4. But it's still heading toward Florida. Our waters here are very warm. And so, I mean, that thing can still pick up some serious steam. I'm going to hop back to the group. Let's see here. Just seeing if there's anything else up to date. So let me hop over here to Telchac. That's a beach town that's about 45 minutes away from Conkal. Sometimes folks will be posting the most recent stuff that's happening in that area. This doesn't look like it's been updated often, not a very active page. This is about 30 minutes ago. Okay, so here's something here. Let's read what this says. Somebody posted this 36 minutes ago. I recognize that area. That's the center of Tail Chalk. All right, Milton loses category when it is located off the coast of Tail Chalk. This morning, Hurricane Milton has weakened to a Category 4 due to the reform process of its eye. Although the effects should intensify at 12 a.m., Milton is located approximately 105 kilometers. I'm going to play this video here. This is a short clip. So if you've been to Tail Chalk, if you've ever been to Tail Chalk, that's right near the pier. As you can see, it's a little bit of flood in there. This is about an hour ago. Let's see. Kind of dark, kind of hard to see what's going on over there. Let's see if I can find something at Progreso. We was expecting the worst. Not even going to lie about that one. I started getting a little nervous. These are some photographs from earlier today. Yeah, they got wet pretty bad. I think we'll see much if there was any damage, which I imagine there was. We'll hear about it more so in the morning. Look at that. I think this is the same pictures. This is from 7 minutes ago. Like somebody sharing that. That one looks pretty scary. I know exactly where that is at in Progreso. There were some evacuation recommendations from the government earlier today for those living on the water. Shalem, Chuberna, Progreso, Tail Chalk. Folk were advised. They have buses out there earlier today taking people out that wanted to leave because they felt it was going to get pretty nasty out there. That was an hour ago.
El nivel del agua está alcanzando, bueno, prácticamente ha borrado la banqueta. Y de hecho, estas son casas, habitaciones.
Yeah, it looked like it got pretty bad out there, but not as bad as it could have been. So, I mean, that is a blessing. I mean, this don't look good, but the alternative could have been so much worse.
Because
it was looking bad today. The clouds were looking ridiculous. So it looks like I say, the worst of it is ahead, behind us, and that is Progreso. And if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments area. Yeah, Pamela says we were told to expect the worst of Hurricane Milton this Wednesday in Florida. Yeah, I mean, that thing is looking bad. I mean, based on what happened in the Carolinas and, with this previous storm, folks was just caught off guard. The storm surges. He just ain't worth taking the chance, man. I'm looking at pictures from Asheville. I mean, the whole town just decimated. I was just reading some stories how entire families were just swept away, gone overnight, just dead. I mean, whole family of 5, three young kids, husband, wife, just gone. People opening up the door, bodies just floating outside the door. And we talking like 5, 6, 7 days later. Even today, folks just waking up, walking out and finding bodies in interstates destroyed. They're talking about some of that won't be usable and rebuilt until September, October of 2025. And we used to go to Asheville all the time when we lived in Greenville. It ain't good out there, man. It ain't good. So, and they're saying this is going to be worse. I'll take every precaution. Thank you, Kimberly. Glad to see you and the family are well. We are bracing for the landfall of Hurricane Milton on the southwest Florida coast. Yeah, so I mean, we definitely going to be praying. I know the anxiety that y'all are feeling, because when I woke up this morning, I was like, man, should we get on the plane? Should we get up out of here? Should we go somewhere else? But even though we live in Conkal is a little closer to the beach than Merida. So we can get to the beach, particularly Chicxulub Beach, in about 20, 25 minutes. In Merida, you get about another 10 minutes added on to that, so about 30 to 35 minutes. So you still get that little extra buffer, just slightly. So that had me a little nervous today. I was like, man, we about 10 minutes closer to the beach. But there's still a lot of trees and land that the storm got to pass over. So it helps slow that down slightly, so it's not as bad. So, I mean, barely got any wind. Like get a few gusts here and there. But overall, it's been quiet. I mean, I was really expecting our power to go out, and really wasn't expecting to have power for a day or two. So I'm surprised. And if the power go out, if this thing abruptly ends, it's because the power went out. But there's no immediate threat for safety right now. Like I say, right now, the wind is not an issue. It's not even raining. Step out, show us. I wish I could show y'all. I got this. I'm on my computer right now. And the cell phone signals are not even strong. Am I able to switch this thing from my cell phone from this live to my cell? I'm gonna try it. Let me see. If I get knocked off, y'all, I'll try and come back on. Let me see. I don't know if it's possible, but I don't think it's gonna work, but let's see. I don't see an option to do such. I'm gonna leave it alone for now. But there's nothing out there to see. It's not even windy. Maybe next time I'll do this from my phone. Not yet supported. Okay, my phone not even. I got a new phone now. It's saying it's not permitted. Let's see. Enjoying the live streams. I see. Yeah, I'm a night owl. All day vapor. Especially a night owl at night. I wasn't going to sleep. For me, I'm like, if I'm going to die, I need to see myself dying. I need to see what's going to happen. Which is one reason why I don't sleep in the car when somebody else is driving. I'm like, if we go off the bridge, I need to see myself going off the bridge. I don't want to die in my sleep and not know what happened. Crazy like that. So I needed to be seeing what's going to happen. Now, everybody else was about to go to bed. Charlie went to sleep, knocked out, sleeping all the way, still asleep. Wasn't even aware that the power was out. Acapulco has 9 feet of water. Wow. Oh, man. Glad to see you all are safe. Yeah, thank you. So, like I say, it all seems to be well here. We'll know the extent of any damages, mainly down near the coastal areas. And I may ride out there tomorrow, get to see for myself. And if I do, I'll film it. If I get a good enough signal, I'll do a live from out there as well. Remember last year I went out, not last year, earlier this year, I went out and bought all these lamps and lights and stuff. I bought these solar, I don't have it downstairs, but I bought this solar. Let me go get it. Cookie, do me a favor, if you don't mind. On my shelf in my closet upstairs, I got that little solar light. Bring the little light that I use for solar. There's a light on the nightstand with a remote control. Bring both of those down. And then, ask your mama what it is. Ask your mama. And the other lamp that I was walking around with, bring that down. So I went out and bought like 30, 20 lights that I could charge up. These lights I paid like, I don't know, $4 or $5 bucks. They charge with a USB and they last for like 6 hours. So I bought a bunch of lights, and I also bought some solar lights as well. That in case we was out of power, I can recharge the lights with the sunlight. Because generally after a hurricane, the next day it's sunny. So I was like, let me buy this solar powered stuff. And so we had all of that. I had all of that ready. Everything was charged up. And so I was ready. So I even bought some, there we go. You got the remote control too. I said bring the remote control too. So this one here, this is the small one. And it connects to a solar panel, which the solar panel's upstairs. I ain't want her touching that one because it easily tear it up. Right? And she's a little clumsy, a whole lot of clumsy. So I ain't want her touching that one. But I bought all this. I bought all these lights, and so this light throws off so much light. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna see if I can light up this room when she bring me the remote. The only thing I didn't like about it is you can only turn it on with the remote control, which I thought was stupid. And thank you, darling. You don't have to run across here trying to hide. So I kind of turned the light off a little bit. But yeah, so this one requires a remote control. Lights up my whole room, and this is the smaller light. And or I can bounce it off the wall. But I can charge this light up with the solar panels, and it'll give me 8 hours of charge. So I bought a small one and I bought a big one. The big one lights up the entire living room and dining room. And like I say, an 8-hour charge. I bought this light here. I can charge it up in an hour and it gives me 6 to 8 hours of charge as well. So I had all these lights. I was ready. So kids have lights for their rooms. We got lights for the living room downstairs. I also bought some solar panel, another little solar panel kit where we can plug our cell phones in, USB devices. So again, that way without power, we get that sunlight to charge everything up and not be without. So I need to buy a radio next. I got some solar powered. I got some rechargeable fans. You know, those will run for about 6 hours on a full charge and blows air on you, keep you cool because it can get hot. So we had all of that. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. Definitely. But so far, so good. Like I say, look like we're out of the woods. I'm just looking at some of these feeds for the most current updates. Let's hop back over here. So this here is an expat and immigrants group that I'm in. And I can kind of do a little filter to see the most recent post. So the most recent post comes from 2 hours ago. So it's late here, so people are in bed. I guess what they realized this storm was passing over, they went to sleep. So all seems well. And again, if y'all have any questions, feel free to post them. Do you know if the airport is open? I read in another group that it was closed. Good question. That I don't know the answer. But because the storm is going away, moving out, I imagine if it is closed, I imagine it'll be open in the morning. Probably be some delays. And the airport, let me see where the airport, let me pull the airport up in relations to a map. So we are right here, this little blue dot. I don't know if you can see that. We are here, Conkal, Cholula. Let me zoom out a little bit. Of course, this up here is the ocean. So this is Merida. It's like a circle. There's a periférico or a loop that goes around the city. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see better. So this is the periférico, the city of Merida. And then outside of this perimeter, and then Conkal. And then we go further up. And that's the beach. at the ocean. Progreso right here, Chichalú, San Benito, Tel Chalk, up here, San Crisanto. On this side, so this is back at Progreso. This is Chalim. This is Chuberna over here. Seasal over here. And so the airport should be right here. So as you can see, the airport is way further down. Here we are up here in Conkal, all the way down here. So I imagine if they ain't open, they should be open tomorrow morning, in the morning. Because they way down here, far away from the beach. And even though it looks far on the map, this is where we're at. From here, it takes us about 35 minutes to get to the airport from my house. 35 to 40 minutes. We come down, drive around a little bit, and then I think we cut across to the city. I don't know if we go all the way. I don't think we come all. I think we do come all the way around, and then come up. Sometimes it'll take us through the city, and we're there. So I don't know. I hope I don't know the answer to your question, but let me see if I can find something online. Well, let me see. Let me show you this. How you doing, Idris? All right. So flights. Well, a lot of flights have been canceled. The 546 flights, 6 o'clock flights, 7 o'clock flights, 8 o'clock flights, all of those have been canceled so far. All of these. All right, so yeah, I think I hit for October 8th. Okay, yeah, here we go. From the bottom up to about here, this is for the morning time. Apparently they had a 12:45 flight tonight. That's canceled. 5:45 is canceled. 6 o'clock. And so all those are canceled so far. Maybe they'll resume later in the day. Checking arrivals. There were 2 flights scheduled to arrive at 7:50 a.m. and 7:23 a.m. Those have canceled, but a couple of them that's coming in at 8 o'clock are scheduled. So it looks like the airport will be open in the morning. So it'll probably be a bunch of delays and cancellations, but things will get back on track. Thank you, Iris and Little Dolphin. Stay safe. Yep. So far, as I mentioned earlier, if you get logging on, Category 5 hurricane has been downgraded to a Category 4. The storm is starting to slowly move away and make its way towards Florida. So the worst of it, or whatever the worst was going to be, it's going to start improving. We didn't have a lot of damage out here in this area, further out in Conkal and Merida. It is my understanding that the folks near the water got some damage and some flooding over there. But as far as here in Merida and Conkal, damage has been minimal, very light. Well, we had some heavy gusts of wind, but nothing strong enough to keep the power off all day. We lost power for about an hour. Hour later, and back on, and has been on all day. Earlier today, there's a lot of panic in the area, people buying. I did try to go buy some extra gas for my tanks, primarily for cooking. When I got there, the gas was all out. So lesson learned, I'm going to have an extra gas tank. I'm going to go buy one tomorrow and fill that and keep that full and you have as a backup. Grocery stores were full. Everybody made a run on the grocery stores. And the lines were ridiculous in those grocery stores. So I think moving forward, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to the weather, particularly during hurricane season. And when they say a storm is already kind of out there, 4 or 5 days out, I'm just going to go to the store in advance, buy my stuff in advance, and that way I don't have to fool with the lines. Preparation is key. Certainly made life a lot easier. I was nervous today, but it looks like we're okay. Yeah, category 5. Yeah, it's downgraded to a 4 about an hour and a half ago. I don't. It may pick up steam again as it continues because the waters are very warm. It may pick up some steam as it makes its way towards Florida. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine that traffic is horrible. I know we used to live in an area called Amelia Island for about 5 years, and that's one of the reasons we ended up leaving was because every time we had to evacuate, it was just a nightmare. And the last time we had to evacuate, I'm like, I'm done with Florida. I'm gonna get the heck out of here. I couldn't do it. It's just so nerve-wracking to know. You just don't know. It's like, man, you leave, that's stressful in itself. Run out of gas, because the gas stations are running out of gas while you're evacuating and leaving, and then you're riding in this slow traffic for what is like hours. And then you deal with that stress. Then you get there to your evacuation point, and then you're like, do I still have a home? The uncertainty of knowing what happened to your property. And that was a whole nother stress. And so on the last time, I was like, you know what? This is too much. I don't need to live like this. There's other places we can go. And so we left. So Florida it was too much. But I enjoyed all 5 of my years out there. Hate that Merida is in the path of the hurricane. I grew up in Savannah and owned a rental. Yeah, the storm is starting to move away. As I mentioned earlier, it's downgraded from a category 5 to a category 4. It looks like from reports online, some of the coastal towns got some damage from the flooding more so than anything. And so it looks like we were spared from what could have been, because that thing was looking bad. That storm was looking really, really bad. I hit the wrong button. Can I get it back? Come on back. All right. Can y'all still see me? I accidentally hit the wrong button. Can y'all see me? Can you hear me? All right. I hit the wrong button. So I'm trying to get back to this map. what do the locals do in Merida? I mean, natural disasters are everywhere. There's no escaping them. Well, the government had a bunch of buses down near the coastal area, like Progreso, and some of the other local areas near the water. So they had a whole lot of buses. They were transporting people out that wanted to leave because they felt that the flooding was going to be pretty significant, and the damage and the wind damage is going to be pretty bad. So they bring them into town. They bring them into Merida. They also have areas down there by the beach, evacuation points where they can go get some shelter in and get some protection. So they're not just left down there and abandoned. So a lot of people, for example, foreigners particularly, they will leave the beach and then they will come to the hotels up here in Merida. So the hotels will generally fill up pretty quick, and people will suck those up right away. Many of the hotels have generators, so they're not really out of power, and many of the hotels have restaurants inside. So a lot of times people will go there. What do the local? Yes, yep. With me, you are going in and out. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Let me see if I can fix that. Let me. Let's see here. Viewer may see it. All right, so the sound is normal, but the screen is frozen. Is what you're saying? The front screen still frozen. Let me.